In this video, I'm going to be sharing 5 things that I wish I knew back when I started YouTube. Personally, I've been a full-time creator here on YouTube for over 4 years now, and part of my mission is helping other creators figure out really how to get to the top of the content creator mountain, whatever your goal is, whether that's subscribers or financial goals or whatever it is. And so that's what we're going to talk about in this video. But if we're just meeting, my name is Cannell. I'm the author of the best-selling book, YouTube Secrets. And on this channel, Think Media, we bring you the best tips and tools for building your influence with online video. So just want to say what's up, Gon, Johnny, Beyond the Blast Doors. Great to see you, Marcus, and let's just dive straight into it. This is some of the things that I really wish I knew back when I started, and we're going to be talking about not just if you're starting, but if you're feeling stuck. What are the seasons that we go through as content creators, and how can we speed up through those seasons, right? There's these kind of milestones, these pillars, and each of us will find ourselves on the journey somewhere here. And not only do we want to recognize the season that we're in, but also identify opportunities for getting more views, getting more subscribers, and ultimately growing faster. But again, our passion here is helping you build your influence with online video and social media. And we're going to be talking about the 5 stages of YouTube success, where most content creators get stuck, and 5 ways to speed up your success, plus a brand new free web class that we have as well. And I'm giving away a couple copies of YouTube Secrets. All you have to do is make sure you like this video, make sure you're subscribed, and you can see all the details in the description below, and answer the question of the day, which I haven't asked yet, so stay tuned for that. Answer that question and you'll be entered to win a copy of YouTube Secrets. So, when it comes to YouTube, let me ask you, what's the focus of your channel? What niche are you in? Maybe you're a content creator, right? And you're doing something around lifestyle, beauty, DIY, drones, travel, vlogs. That could be your niche. You might be a business entrepreneur, business-minded person, and you're trying to figure out how to use YouTube for business. Maybe you're a freelancer or a digital marketer, journalist even, and you want to build your brand leveraging YouTube. Or maybe YouTube's a hobby for you, but you'd love to do it full time. As I look at some of the people in our community here, Tom is doing financial freedom. I see Vincent's doing fitness. Project Manifest is doing tech tutorials. So we're all in different niches. So tell me your niche in the comments. But of course, our goal, right, is no matter what niche we're in, how do we get to the top of the mountain? And that's that goal. And maybe let me know what one of your YouTube goals is. Is it a financial goal? Is it to be able to do this part-time or full-time? But how do you do that? Well, I want to talk about that in this video, going through 5 stages that I've learned having kind of been through this process. And the first one's start. Now, maybe that's obvious, but that is where you got to start, right? You ultimately have to punch fear in the face, punch perfectionism in the face, and press record. Now, in each of these, though, I want to talk about some of the enemies for each season. In fact, let me know if you've already started on YouTube or if you've kind of been hesitant. And, some of the enemies here could be overthinking. Just overthinking it in your head. I know I should start a channel. Perfectionism is another big one. Perfectionism is just another word most of the time for fear. Another one's fear of failure. But what I've learned is that the faster you fail, the faster you learn. So the sooner you start, the sooner you can make mistakes, you can start messy, and you can get data and feedback, because here's the thing, you can't steer a parked car, right? You want to get moving, and then tips and strategies can then shape your progress as you go. So that's the first season. We all have to ultimately start. The second season is where you get stuck. Right? And this is like, you've started for a while. Maybe let me know if you can relate to this. You're like, where's my viral video? Where is that overnight success, or whatever your goals were? And when I also think about this season 2, you could also maybe just take the T out. This is the suck. You know what I mean? And the reality is that we get pumped about starting YouTube, but inevitably we realize that maybe we don't grow that fast, or maybe we feel like we're in a rut. And let me know if you can relate to that. This is ultimately where most content creators actually stop. And this is the biggest thing, is the honeymoon period wears off. We realize that we need to do some work. Some of the biggest enemies here are stopping. Just most people never get past here, because what sets in is like, okay, this is a lot of work, or it's not growing as fast as I thought. And what we also realize is this is where we encounter the skill gap. Maybe you can relate to this. You're like, okay, I put out a few videos, but then I was like, my gosh, man, I got to learn thumbnails and design and cameras. Can I get an amen? I got to learn like even how to be on camera and like try to not be awkward, and titles and thumbnails and SEO. And really, just like at the end of a film, there's a whole list of credits: the director, the producer, the actors, the videographers, the lighting crew. And as a YouTuber, you're all the credits. You know what I mean? Like, you're the entire list. Colleen saying amen, Tom saying amen. Yeah, that's that second season. And I just want to encourage you, every single person hits this. It's normal. And I think the key is that you can't stop during the suck. You can't stop when you get stuck. You got to keep pressing forward. And if you do, then you go on to season 3, and that is the sacrifice season, right? This is also the side hustle season, because at this point now, you're going to be doing YouTube. You've moved past giving up, but now you're in a season of sacrifice and side hustle. It's really one of the hardest seasons, because honestly, it's easy to give up. Like, it's easy to just stop. It's easy to just throw in the towel. What's harder is mustering the courage, the tenacity, the focus, the resilience to press through and to keep pressing on. And in the sacrifice season, it's an important word, because great things are never accomplished without sacrifice. You know, on our channel, the co-author of YouTube Secrets, Benji Travis, we interviewed over 100 of today's top video influencers and YouTubers. And what we learned was that all of them had gone through this, where they weren't overnight successes. They may have appeared that way to you, but there was this whole season of sacrifice. And so I want to encourage you, there may a lot of people don't talk about this too much. Sometimes these so-called gurus and social media gurus online that are like on some island with some Facebook ad, like how to make millions by like just pushing a button, that doesn't exist, man. It's totally a myth, because even if they are living in that, and it truly is results they're getting, which most of them are fake, but even if they actually are doing it, I guarantee you there was a decade of sacrifice that positioned them in a place where now passive income is flowing in and things like that. And so there's a few enemies, though, that can get us stuck in the sacrifice season. Impatience is a big one. If you're in the season right now where you're side hustle, you got a job, you got a family, you're trying to juggle your kids in school, or you're trying to juggle college, but you just know you're sacrificing, one of the big things in this season is impatience. Haste makes mistakes. And I want to encourage you in the Think Media community, if you find yourself in the sacrifice season, keep making good decisions. You know, being hasty, rushing content, little by little, a little becomes a lot. Put out one good video at a time. Put out one solid piece of content at a time. The other big enemies here are focusing on short-term pleasure or making short-term decisions. So what I've learned is, you know, people say, I don't have enough time. How am I going to build my YouTube channel? The first thing I'd recommend getting rid of is probably a lot of leisure. What are you willing to sacrifice so that you can live tomorrow better than you're living today? What are you willing? And maybe that's giving up video games, unless you're a video game channel. Then that's what you should be doing the whole time. Maybe it's giving up leisure, giving up, Netflix, and really saying, I'm going to devote myself for a season of sacrifice. I really want you to know, being full-time and being blessed to have like the best-selling book on YouTube and reaping a lot of the seeds, harvesting a lot of the seeds that I planted years ago. It's happening now. But I need you to know that I put a lot of sacrifice in, that I worked at Red Robin for 10 years of my life, waiting tables. And a lot of times I would work 30 to 35 hours in 3 days doing double shifts so that I could make enough money to also volunteer and do some things at my local church, and then to also work on YouTube in whatever spare time I had. And so if you're in the struggle right now, if you're in the sacrifice season, I want to encourage you, keep going, and don't let impatience cause you to make bad decisions, and don't give in to short-term pleasure or make short-term decisions. Another thing that happens in the sacrifice season is sometimes we're so desperate to monetize, or we're so desperate to get a brand deal, that we don't necessarily always make the best decisions for our audience or for our future. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm guilty of this. Early on, once I got approved for FameBit, which is a place where you can do brand deals, I was just like, if anybody would just say yes and give me some money, I'll review the product. And I early on, there was some things where early product reviews, there was this one, it was called the Human Charger. It's like this weird thing. I tried it out. It might have been whatever. Like I just put it out there. I look back and I'm like, I probably wouldn't have done that if I was making a long-term decision, but that's why I want to encourage you. Just keep making good decisions. Keep doing right by your audience. Keep serving, keep focused, and keep playing the long game, because the content creators that last in this thing are going to be focusing on legacy and not short-term gain or short-term decisions. And when you persevere in the sacrifice season, you eventually get to the fourth season. That's survival. Survival. This is where you go from it being a side hustle to being a solopreneur. And the truth is, a lot of creators actually get stuck here as well. This is where like now you're like making enough, YouTube ads, maybe you're paying the bills, but your dream can actually quickly become a nightmare if you don't guard your time and guard your health physically, mentally, spiritually, all the above. Why? Because you've probably seen it. Like there's this huge trend of YouTubers burning out and all these different things. A lot of times people make it to this stage in the YouTube journey and they have another skill gap. That's like, well, how do you get help or get a virtual assistant or get VAs? And so the enemies here are comfort. Sometimes you can hit here and you just stop. You're like, well, hey, I'm making enough to support me. You get comfortable. The other thing could be fear of risk. Once you finally have something, you start hoarding it and protecting it, and you lose that edge that you had when you were real hungry, when you were a real hustler early on, right? And you get a little comfortable. And you also, an enemy here is a whole nother skill gap of like, okay, I need to scale this thing, but like, I don't even know how. What do I do to go just past survival? And here's something I want to hear from you. You don't actually have to type it in the comments, but what I want you to do if you're on this journey is I want you to also define what survival is. I was talking to a couple at an event called Video Marketing World, and they came up and they were like, hey, my husband hates his job. He wants to go full-time doing this. Sean, what is your recommendation? My first question was, how much money do you need to make per month for him to be able to quit his job and you guys to be able to focus on this full-time? Crickets. They're like, we have no idea. Like, we haven't thought about it. We haven't done the math. Can you do the math? Because here's the thing, and I'm not talking about living lavish. I'm talking about what is the minimum amount of money you would need to be able to focus part-time and maybe reduce your work hours, or to go full-time. If you haven't defined your target, how would you know when you got there, right? So define what this kind of base camp, right? You get out of the rocks here, you get into like this higher elevation of survival. What would that number be for you? Once you define that number, it actually might be a little more practical than you realize, because you start saying, okay, well, I'm already making a little bit of money online and a little bit with the ads, a little bit with affiliate marketing, whatever you're doing, define that and it'll help you progress faster. And then the fifth season might be a surprise. The fifth season is not success. The fifth season is scale. When you hit the top, what you actually learn is that at the top of the mountain, you're actually just at the foot of the mountain range. You move past survival, you move into scale, and the ultimate goal is to build something sustainable that doesn't wear you out, burn you out, but allows you to serve your community, serve your audience. And this is what I want to encourage you with. The top of the mountain is not success. Success is the journey. Like, I want you to fall in love with the process. Like, if you're watching this stream and you haven't quit, you're successful. I believe that with my whole heart. In fact, even failures, I heard John Maxwell put it this way: sometimes you win, sometimes you learn, right? That the master has failed more times than the amateur has even tried. Like, you got to experiment. You might be feeling like you're failing, but if you're continuing to grow your skills, if you're continuing to post new videos, if you're continuing to make progress, then you're succeeding. Success is in the journey, and really it's embracing every single stage of the journey. And the reason I say that too is because a lot of the YouTubers burning out are reaching the top of the mountain. They thought that was success, but then they realized that it didn't quite satisfy like they thought it would. Why? Because we were designed to be creative, right? We were created to create. We were meant to continue to use our gifts, talents, and abilities to serve other people. And so it's less about the destination and it's more about the journey. And I feel like just that could be an unlock alone to say, you know what, I'm successful, even if I'm stuck right now because I'm not giving up and I'm looking for more answers and I'm leveling up my skills. I'm successful even if I'm sacrificing right now and I feel pressure from every side and I'm trying to juggle a lot. But the fact that you're even going for something greater, the fact that you are like right now have got so many things competing for your attention, so many responsibilities, and most people, after a hard day's work and a hard day at school and a hard day taking care of the kids, just sit down on the couch and chill. Nothing wrong with that, but I want to applaud you for being someone that even is trying to build something greater, build a legacy, build something for your future. Success is in the journey, so fall in love with the process and not just the results. So if you're getting value, can you smash the like button and maybe tag somebody who needs to see this? But I want to talk about 5 ways to speed up. 5 ways to speed up, because look, overnight success never happens overnight. That's the first thing we need to know. So when I talk about speeding up, I want to put that out there. I'm not talking about taking shortcuts, but I am talking about the fact that there are ways to accelerate through the seasons. You got to put in the time. You got to put in the work. Yet everyone has to pay their success tax. The fact that the failures, the discouragement, the emotional roller coaster, you have to go through that. Every single successful creator has. Overnight success doesn't happen overnight, but there are a few ways we could speed up. The first one's a map. The first one's you're going to get, like, climbing a mountain of being a full-time content creator or a YouTuber is hard. So why would you ever go at it alone? You know, I heard it said, you know, if you were going to go into the woods, the time to get a map is before you enter the woods. And the cool thing is that this industry is maturing. And so there are people who have gone to the top, they've come back down, and they share their answers, they share their tips. That's what this channel is about. Trying to help you go further, faster. So don't ever just try to go it alone. That is the most foolish way to do it. When someone's already written a map or written different processes, you know, has figured out ways of making money, ways of getting views, whatever, get a map, right? Invest in that. The second thing is a guide, right? If you're going to climb an actual mountain, you would hire a guide. If I'm going to go to Everest, I'm not just going to wing it, right? I'm going to hire a guide, or I'm going to look for a guide. And I know you already do that, right? That's what Think Media is all about. You're subscribed here. I'm sure you follow some other great people online. I've got so many great friends that, especially on YouTube, are doing this. Maybe type some of your favorite influencers, mentors, entrepreneurs you follow. I follow all kinds of guides, right? In business, in fitness. You know, I've got friends in this industry, Roberto and Tim and Daryl and Brian, Nick, all these guys, amazing guys. They're guides that can just help you in the journey. And you're probably subscribed. You realize that, but it's helping you speed up, isn't it? Like, why would you ever try and just figure out alone without a guide? The third one is taking action. And I really want to encourage you with this. You could write this down if you're taking notes, but write down MIA. MIA. On the journey to the top of the mountain, you need to take MIA, massive, imperfect action. Not all the right actions, just massive actions. And they're imperfect, just hustling, posting videos. That one wasn't that good. Post another one. That one was a little better. Post 3 more. Those all sucked. You know what I mean? Like, just massive action though. Massive action. I'm convinced that a lot of people, and I watch you guys, like even in the Think Media community, some of you are so stuck in your head, pondering, overthinking, and the results are on the other side of massive action, not on the other side of pondering, debating in your head, wondering, like, no, massive, massive action. Once you got a map, once you got a guide, you got to hustle. There's a grind to it. There's a fact of just keep showing up. Well, what if I'm not seeing it? Keep showing up. What if I'm not getting results yet? Keep showing up, taking massive action. That's a way to speed up. 10x your actions. The fourth one is community, right? Like online and offline, your network matters. The fact is, we can go faster together, right? We're stronger together. And if you're climbing a mountain, it'd be like being carabinered to other people. Like, you just don't want to be out there alone. We want to be climbing with a community. And that's, again, part of our passion here. Maybe you follow us on Video Influencers. I hope you're engaging in the comments. We want to create a community of purpose-driven entrepreneurs and business-minded content creators that really want to not just make a difference in the world, but make a living doing it on this incredible platforms that we have like YouTube. And so stay engaged with the community, and maybe let me know some of the communities you're part of. Maybe it's a private Facebook group. You know, maybe it's Maybe it's a forum of some kind. Maybe it's events you go to. One of the most powerful things you could do, and I understand that resources can be tight, but one of the most powerful things I've done for my online business is connected with real people offline. I just saw a video from Amy Landino. She's saying the same thing. She's like, people that are trying to do online stuff are not connecting enough with people offline. Community matters, which brings us to number 5, and that is Smartcuts. Smartcuts. And what do I mean by that? I just told you, don't take shortcuts. What's a shortcut? Well, a shortcut could be, making a clickbait decision to get short-term views, but then losing trust with your audience because you did it. A shortcut could be making a video or doing a product review or working with a brand that you just don't feel great about, but that's a shortcut. Well, what's a smart cut? Well, a smart cut is identifying ways that you can cut the journey into a slower amount. Like for me, really this journey on YouTube's been about a decade. And my belief is that those that are part of our community and that are part of even some of our courses and things like that I can shave your learning curve by 75%. But off a decade, that's still going to be 2.5 years of grinding, right? What's a smart cut? Investing in a map or a guide, right? Other smart cuts. And by the way, this is about a book. Like I got the term from a really book I love. If you want to check it out, Smart Cuts: How Hackers, Innovators, and Icons Accelerate Success. It's not about shortcuts. It's about smart cuts. In the book, it actually talks about Michelle Phan. Early days, she identified a certain thing on YouTube, doesn't work anymore, but she identified, an opportunity on YouTube and she leveraged it to really hack her growth early on. So here's a couple you could write down. Trends, hacking trends, like paying attention to trends. Collaborations. Obviously, if you collaborate with someone who's established, or even if they're the same size, you could grow your audience faster. It's a smart cut. Ranking videos. Huge smart cut. Paid media. Doing paid ads of, smart positioning yourself in the market to be different, using social media, maybe identifying something that's hot and working right now, like LinkedIn video or something like that, hacking, posting content there and using it to not just build your influence there, but maybe your YouTube channel as well. That's what we're obsessed with in our business is smart cuts, is finding the ways to shorten to go further faster, right? To get to success sooner. And so a quote to kind of summarize this: you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And I'd love to hear from you. What season are you in? Tell me in the comments. Now, if you want more training like this, I just want to put on your radar, we just did a brand new hour-long masterclass, Becoming a Full-Time Content Creator. It's at fulltimeinfluencer.com. I'll link it up in the description below. This one's different than some of the ones we've done in the past because it truly is going away. We're actually taking it down March 20th, depending on if you're watching this replay, because it's a bunch of advanced training around really creating a business around being a content creator. All the lessons I've learned from interviewing the experts, from attending the events, and from being to the top of the mountain myself. And so if you want to check that out, it's only available for a little while. We just extended it, but it's closing and it's going away. And then at the end of that, we also talk about our program that is, if you want to be a part of stuff, it's called Inner Circle. We'll tell you about it at the end. Just full transparency. Yes, it's a free masterclass. At the end, we tell you about a program that we have to support content creators on a monthly basis. But whether that's right for you or not, don't even worry about it. I want you to be able to see the full masterclass before we take it down. And that's the goal, right? To get you to the top of the mountain and help you navigate the various pitfalls and challenges that so many different content creators encounter along the way. So if you want to watch that, fulltimeinfluencer.com, link in the description below. Now, again, if you want to be entered to win a copy, we'll give away 2 copies of YouTube Secrets. Make sure you like this video. Let me know what topics and questions you have based on this video. And if you're subscribed, then all you got to do is answer the question of the day, which is, which season of the YouTube journey are you in? Which season are you in? Brad just said, love Inner Circle. He's a part of our Inner Circle program. Brad, thanks for saying that. It's great seeing you in there this morning during the live stream. Yes, Monique signing up. Check that out. Tell me though which season you're in. Kenny says I'm stuck in that season. Maybe some people are starting. Hello, Minnie is saying. So tell me, and that's how you could be entered to win a copy of YouTube Secrets. Well, hey, appreciate you so much. Thanks for hanging out on this stream. And if you want to click subscribe if you're not subscribed, and if you want to check out our framework for growing faster on YouTube, click or tap the screen to check out the 7 C's of YouTube success. Or if you want to see another video from Think Media, click or tap the screen right there. Remember, this channel is all about bringing you the best tips and tools for building your influence with online video. Keep crushing it, and we will talk soon.